Well, I'll wait till you guys come back. Hey, come on back in, guys. Sorry. That started off a lot better on Restream than the other ones did. Fireside Friday. I know. I'm figuring it out. I'm going to have to get in touch with Restream. Either that or I'm going to give them really bad reviews and I'm going to... Because it's a subscription that I pay for. So this is absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. And no one should ever pay for this if they can't figure this out. So it's absolutely stupid. Anywho, I'm back and we are doing week 6 Fireside Friday. So I'm just going to pick up right where I left off. I'm going to exit out of this screen right here. So thank you guys very much for bearing with me. There's my cocktail over there. So going for 2.com, what's happening is, thank you for asking, it's really pixelated. No matter what device I use, I have it plugged directly into my router, which is like 1,000 megabits per second. That's what we pay for our cable. Speed tests give us over 200 megabits per second, and yet it's pixelated. It goes in and out. The picture quality is terrible. I've tried it on all different, low, medium, high. Nothing seems to work, and on multiple devices. So I guess I have to call my cable company, got to call DirecTV and AT&T, get them to fix the internet or something, because this is junk. So I'm trying to give you guys a good quality product, and it just looked like an idiot. But you know what? Hey, whatever. It's fantasy football. Can you tell I'm kind of in a bad mood right now? It's been a long day. Anyway, but I'm excited to be here with you guys. So let's talk about some fantasy football, if I can, like, get my head right. I'll just take a drink of my cocktail. That always makes me feel better. Which is kind of a sad thing, but... Hey, so going for 2, you said weird. I've used it for over a year. My computer isn't hardwired and my Wi-Fi sucks. I know. That's why I need to get with Restream and be like, hey, what the hell is going on? So, no bueno. I don't like it, and we'll see. So anyway, guys, let's jump into it. Week 6. I mean, what I usually do, because I go live on Wednesdays, and then I talk about the Thursday night game. I gotta say, I gotta hand it to the Giants. They didn't suck that bad. Either that or the Patriots were being like doubly cruel and just like kind of leading them on and being like, oh, you might have a chance in this game. Oh, just kidding. Taking it away from you. That seems like what they do. So I don't know. I previously said not to start any Giants person. Hang on, my chair is running into something. I almost broke my iPad earlier too. It fell off my table, but you know, hey, maybe I need a new one. Don't care. I'm going to New Orleans, so that's where my money's going. But Golden Tate did well. That's good, you know, for anyone who had to start him, which I was one of them. And I'm playing against my husband in that league, and he started the Patriots defense. So at least I'm kind of in the running still. We'll see how that turns out. But, you know, it is what it is. It's fantasy football. The Patriots defense is legit, guys. So if you have them, congratulations. If you're going up against them, my condolences. I'm very sorry for your loss. That's literally what can I do? I'm going up against them, so that's what it is. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Lauren, and on all social media platforms, you can find my work on stepmomlauren.com. I know Patriots defense is the wide receiver 1, and they're also quarterback 1 and RB 1 and all the ones. It's just Patriots defense. But guys, you can find all my work, stepmomlauren.com. I write for Fake Pig Skin. I do a Thursday night preview breakdown, which I did for this game. I'm also one of the writers for the Fantasy Footballers, which is pretty awesome. So I'm one of the 12 contracted writers for Andy, Mike, and Jason. If you haven't seen their podcast, or heard their podcast, I should say, or seen their YouTube channel, like and subscribe. Also like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This video will be going up on YouTube for your later viewing pleasure. For whatever reason that you might want to watch it. Hopefully it's for some fantasy knowledge. And yeah, that's who I am, guys. So let's get right in it. We've got a pretty interesting week in fantasy football, if you ask me. And we've got 4 teams on a bye. So let me just make sure I have them right. We've got Bears, Bills, Colts, and Raiders that are all in a bye. For wide receivers, this doesn't really make much of a difference. But for running backs, there are some pretty significant players that are not going to be available for you to start. So I did things a little bit different this week. Instead of listing a whole bunch of mumble jumble on this here board right here, I decided to do this. A little bit easier to read, possibly. Yeah, maybe like if I had a narrower font. I don't know. But these are RB starts that I like. And actually, now that I've said that, I need my notebook, which is right over there. Hang on just a minute. See, I have way too much shit. I need a studio that I can have everything set up. Maybe if I have a studio and get it all wired, I'll be able to use Restream and it'll be amazing. But Cool. All right, so RB starts, guys. The first ones are the Dolphins-Redskins game. I know, vomit. One of them actually has to win. Actually, they don't. They could tie, which would be hilarious. But what's really interesting here is that the Dolphins are 32nd worst against running backs in the league. They've allowed 5 rushing touchdowns, but they've also allowed 4 passing touchdowns. So I really like Adrian Peterson, and I like Chris Thompson a lot this week. So if you are in need of a running back, and those guys are available, go and try and pick them up, play them, plug them in there. I think they're going to do well, especially with what the interim head coach, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's like, run the ball. And his reasoning was very odd. It's like, the more you run the ball, you win. It's like, it's not how it works, but, whatever. That means good thing for fantasy football owners of Adrian Peterson and Chris Thompson. So, Bill Callahan, thank you, going for 2. Appreciate it. So, that's why I have that guy. So, Mark Ingram is next because they're playing the Bengals. Bengals are terrible. I mean, they're really terrible at life. I am so upset with Andy Dalton for not hitting and connecting with Tyler Eifert. When I specifically said that you guys should pick up and start Tyler Eifert, that makes me look bad. Screw you, Andy Dalton. Anyway, they're 31st worst against the run for the Baltimore Ravens. This obviously means good things for Lamar Jackson as well. Could possibly mean good things for Gus Edwards and Justice Hill if he gets involved, but that RB1 position that I like is Mark Ingram. And John, if you guys don't know this, John has a rush rating that he puts out for, is it XT box scores? I think it is, John. Why don't you tweet that out there so people can see what you are, where you put your stuff, I should say. And so he really likes Mark Ingram too. That makes me feel better because he is scary accurate on his running backs that he predicts through this system that he's created. So I really like Mark Ingram. Another one is my boy, Kerryon Johnson. I freaking love Kerryon Johnson, mostly just because I like the song Carry On My Wayward Son, which is also one of my fantasy names, which is great. XT Box Score, that's it, is the site. Thanks, Lauren. You're welcome, John. My pleasure. So I like Kerryon this week. This is kind of interesting because the Lions-Packers game is on Monday night. So have you ever been in that position where you're playing Monday night, you're like, oh my God, all my players are done and I'm only ahead by 10 points or, something like that. Now is your chance to have a really solid fantasy football player that's available. And the next one right there is Aaron Jones. Those two guys, if you want to start them, both of these defenses are very bad against the run. In fact, Green Bay is, the Lions are right after Green Bay. So Green Bay is ranked 30th and the Lions are ranked 29th. So Aaron Jones and Kerryon Johnson look very juicy. Also remember that if you're in any tournaments that play through Monday, I actually picked up Aaron Jones and I'm playing him in a DFS tournament. But yeah, Kerryon Johnson, Aaron Jones, love it all day long. And this is interesting about Green Bay's defense, which you all know is garbage against the run, but they've allowed over 600 rushing yards and 6 rushing TDs. So hopefully this will be a good game for Kerryon. And then just to go back to the Lions, like I was talking about, they're 29th worst against the running back. They really don't give up a ton of rushing attempts and rushing yards. But they did allow 5 rushing touchdowns. So that's really interesting to note. And they have also given up a lot of points in the passing game to running backs. Not many touchdowns, but a lot of receptions for a lot of yards. So in PPR, I like Aaron Jones too. And guys, as I go through this, if I miss your question, keep asking. There's going to be some time at the end of this for you guys to ask your question. I don't mind if you bug me with repeated questions. That's fine. Because I want to roll through this so I can keep my thoughts in order, which never really happens anyway. So who am I kidding? Anyway, let's just keep going down the list. So the Broncos defense is ranked 28th worst against the running back. So obviously, let's fire up some Derrick Henry. Cowboys are 27th worst. Le'Veon Bell, guys, if you want to start him anyway, the volume is king in fantasy football. And Sam Darnold is back, which means uptick for Robbie Anderson, uptick for Jamison Crowder, which opens up the field a little bit more for Le'Veon Bell, which is fantastic for Bell owners. So see him getting a little bit more involved and more productive, which is going to be really good. So you're going to start Le'Veon Bell no matter what, but feel better about it. That's going to be one of those games where you're like, okay, I feel pretty good about it now. Not like, I got to watch the Jets, garbage. Anywho. So then, last but not least, I have a little sneaky little snart. That's a fantasy footballer's insider joke, but the Redskins, okay? The Redskins are ranked 25th worst against running backs, okay? So do we know anything about Kalen Ballage? I can't remember what happened with him. Whatever. But Kenyon Drake is very interesting. If you guys have Kenyon Drake, I know it's been barfy seeing him on your roster. You may have dropped him. You may have traded him. I have Kenyon Drake in a few leagues, and I'm actually starting him this week. I'm not worried about it because the Redskins, they have given up lots of opportunities to running backs for both rush and receiving. And if you have followed Kenyon Drake, which I have because I'm a Drakester, I love him. He's excellent in the passing game, and he's really trying to prove himself in the line of scrimmage run game, too. So I sneakily like the Dolphins. Not the Dolphins, but I like Kenyon Drake from the Dolphins. So if he's an option and you guys have people on bye and you're not sure who to start, feel pretty good about Kenyon Drake. I like him. And then, John, what do you think about Kenyon Drake? Because I know you're the running back whisperer. So tell me what you think about Kenyon Drake, too, guys. Follow him, JCW Helm Camp with a K. AMP, and see what he thinks about that, because he's pretty good at this stuff too. So there we go. I don't have Kenyon Drake on here because I have him in my sleeper list, but let's go ahead and go to the wide receivers, guys. I have Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore up here. This is a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Misleading, because the Panthers play Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is great because they're worst against the wide receivers. Totally get that. But what they are really, really bad against are slot receivers. So I really think this is going to be a Curtis Samuel game over a DJ Moore game. Hold on, let me just filter up there. Going for 2, Mark Walton. He is a sneaky deep start as well. Thank you for bringing that up. And yeah, so I like Curtis Samuel a little bit more than DJ Moore. If you do have DJ Moore, I have no problem starting him. Obviously, just beware of who you're starting him over. Look at the matchups, things like that. But I do like Curtis Samuel just a hair more than DJ Moore in this, which is why he's first, not second, even though everybody loves DJ Moore. But Kyle Allen has really started to connect with Curtis Samuel, and I like that a lot. All right, so Falcons, everybody. As we know, sorry, my buddy Greg, but the Falcons are terrible against wide receivers. Start your wide receivers when you're playing against the Falcons, guys. They're terrible. They've allowed 10 touchdowns to wide receivers. The tricky part of this is that they're going up against Arizona, which is going to be curious to see what is going on with Christian Kirk. Is he healthy? Is he going to play? If he does play, I don't have a problem starting him. But the one that I really want to start is Larry Fitzgerald. At home, I think he's going to ball out in this game. So if you've got Larry Fitz, start him. I love it. The Falcons' defense is absolutely terrible. They were the ones who allowed Will Fuller, I believe it was the Falcons, allowed Will Fuller to just, like, destroy fantasy break fantasy football. So there you go. I think he had the most fantasy points for a wide receiver for the last, 15 years. Was, some kind of crazy record he broke. That was the Falcons' defense. So, yeah. And then 30th, here come the Redskins again. So 30th worst against the wide receiver are the Redskins. However, we're talking about Dolphins wide receivers with Josh Rosen throwing the football. I am totally meh on this. Totally meh. But if you guys have to plug in some wide receiver spots, you can look at Devontae Parker. You can look at, was it Preston Williams, I think is the other one. I think there are better options, but if you're desperate, deep league, those are options you could try to stream. I don't know. I don't particularly like it. I think there are better plays, like I said. So, I'm meh on that. All right, 28th worst are the Eagles. So, guys, Thielen and Diggs, right up here. Do I have them? Yeah, Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs. The volume should be interesting for targets for Diggs, which is why I like Thielen more than Diggs. There's some weirdness going on in that offense. I know they're not really talking about it, but it just feels like it, doesn't it? It just feels like something weird is going on there. So I really only want to start Adam Thielen with confidence here. So if you do have Stephon Diggs, hope for a big game from him and then trade him away, because there's a lot of weirdness going on there, and I'm not really quite sure how much I want to be involved with that as a fantasy GM. So, take a look at your roster, see what's going on. I think Adam Thielen should have a pretty good game. Anyway, so next we have, this is a weird one too, Texans. They're 27th worst against the wide receiver. Sorry, there's comments coming in here, and apparently this isn't showing up on Twitter. So this should be this is going to be a weird day. Don't worry, I'll just repost this on YouTube, and then I'll post that up, and then you guys can hear it. So anyway, Texans are the 27th worst against wide receivers. So if Tyreek Hill plays, there's no guarantee he will. I think he's going to be a really good start. Now behind him, if Tyreek Hill does not play, Mecole Hardman is a great start. So is Demarcus Robinson. But if Tyreek Hill does play, I'm going to fade Mecole Hardman and still be okay with Demarcus Robinson if I have to start him. So that's a really weird conditional start. So just keep your eye on Tyreek Hill's status. 26th worst against wide receivers. New Orleans, fire up some Gardner Minshew, DJ Chark, and D.D. Westbrook. I think this is going to be a good game for D.D. Westbrook. It's always going to be a good game for DJ Chark as long as the offense doesn't have a stupid penalty and he gets his touchdown called back, which sucks. So I really like that. And let's see. Miami is 24th worst. Now, here's what's interesting, because again, they're playing the Redskins, guys. So they're going back to Case Keenum. So Case Keenum has connected quite a bit with Terry McLaurin. So if you've been holding him, trying to figure out what's going on with that Redskins offense, I like him, but also remember that this head coach is going to run the ball all the time. So when Case Keenum does throw the ball, let's just hope that it's going to be to Terry McLaurin. So start him if you have to. Keep an eye on him, stash him. Let's see what this offense does. I'm curious to see. So Terry McLaurin's that one right here above my head. So let's go ahead and go to tight ends. And do I like Minshew more than Winston this week, E-Man? I like both of them, to be totally honest with you. I think Winston will give you higher upside, but he's also higher risk as well. But I think both of them could be a shootout. Although I think I like Minshew a little bit better, just because I like his mustache, and he's fun and quirky and weird. But anyway, let's talk about tight ends, guys. Tampa Bay, 32nd worst against tight ends. So, I'm sorry, that's wide receivers. Look at me. I'm so old school. I have handwritten notes. I know. I'm so old school. I felt like handwriting today. Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals are 32nd worst against the tight end. So, Austin Hooper, guys, he's been a beast. Keep firing up your shares of Austin Hooper. He should not disappoint this week. For sure. That's the Falcons, by the way. So Tampa Bay is 31st. Easy for you to say. 31st worst. Wow. It's a tongue twister. They're playing the Panthers. Greg Olsen. Old man Olsen coming back with a vengeance. I absolutely love it. Seattle is 29th worst against the tight end. So they're going up against the Browns. I want no shares of that. I have Jarvis Landry. I was hoping that he would be able to connect with Baker Mayfield. This could be a get-right game for Baker. If you are desperate and you need options at tight end and other positions are taken, you can take a shot at Ricky Seals-Jones because Seattle is so bad against the tight end. You've just got to hang your hat on Baker Mayfield, which is hard to do because his offensive line is terrible and he freaks out like he's going to die every time he gets the ball. So that's a little disappointing. Again, guys, going back to the Dolphins-Redskins, their defenses are terrible, so they're going to be on this list. Dolphins are 28th worst against the tight end. Vernon Davis, if he's healthy, okay. Other than that, you've got Jeremy Sprinkle. I mean, I love his name. Sprinkles are fantastic, especially if they're glittery sprinkles, but I don't know. Do you guys want to have anything to do with that? I'm not so sure. So, who knows? I'm not quite sure about that either. All right, so Kansas City, 27th worst against tight ends. Guys, I love Noah Fant. I love me some Noah Fant right here. Wait, did I get that right? No, I didn't. Hold on. I had my notes in here. Noah Fant and Darren Fells. Sorry, I got my notes backwards because I got the Broncos and the Houston Texans. Either way, I like both of them. Darren Fells, awesome sleeper pick. Noah Fant, awesome sleeper pick. Also, the Browns, who I mentioned before, playing against Seattle. They are 25th worst against the tight end. So, Will Dissly, you guys, if you have him, you're starting him. So, that's not even a question. But sleepers, guys, here is going to be Noah Fant, Darren Fells, and then what was the other one in here? Possibly Ricky Seals-Jones, if you're desperate. All right, guys. So, just to do these real quick, go over several different sleepers here. I got 2 slides for this. Adrian Peterson, Chris Thompson, if you need running backs. Chase Edmonds. This is something I did not have in my previous presentation. David Johnson is day-to-day with a back injury. So if you have not picked up Chase Edmonds, whether you're the David Johnson owner or not, now is the time to do it. Go get Chase Edmonds because he may not be involved or he may be limited, which means Chase Edmonds is going to see increased workload, and you can bet on that. So for everyone who asked me about Winston and Gardner Minshew, I have Gardner Minshew in here as a sleeper pick because he may still be available on the waiver wire. Again, I like both of those quarterbacks. And then, like we mentioned, if you're desperate at wide receiver, Devontae Adams or Preston Williams. Keyshawn Johnson is also another one where if you have to fill your wide receiver role, go ahead and snag Keyshawn Johnson just because of that offense and the defense that they're going up against. Again, Noah Fant, Vernon Davis, Jeremy Sprinkle, Darren Fells, and then my boy Kenyon Drake. Those are my sleepers. And I'm wondering if I actually got disconnected. So, yeah, I probably did. So I'll keep this short, guys. It's Friday afternoon. You guys have other things that you want to do. This is going to be going up on YouTube for anyone who can actually hear me. As soon as I'm done with this, I'll go re-record it, put it up on YouTube for you guys to see. There we go. Thank you, Stepmom Lauren. Sorry, this was kind of a hot mess. This is a hot mess broadcast today. First of all, I was super late. Sorry about that. Just had to take my dogs to the vet. Tried to get all connected here, but looks like we're having some issues. So I'm going to call AT&T and see what the heck's going on, because this kind of peeves me. See if anyone got to join back again. All right. Well, you know, I think I'm just going to end it. But that's what, I mean, not end like it, just end the broadcast. I mean, I'm not that depressed over it, but you know, hey, whatever. So again, guys, I'm a writer for the Fantasy Footballers. I contribute to fakepigskin.com. You guys can all find me in social media platforms, Stepmom Lauren. Find my work and also connect with me on my website at stepmomlauren.com. So thank you guys. Again, I apologize. Kind of a weird broadcast, but it happens. It's live TV. It's not really live TV. It's just live streaming. But anyway, you guys have a safe and wonderful weekend. Good luck on Sunday. I know I didn't get a chance to answer your questions live here, so feel free to message me on Twitter. Come get me on Twitter. Hit me up. Let me know what your questions are. Or if you're still with me, I only see 4 people. So hit me up on Twitter. Message me at Stepmom Lauren. I will try to help you as best I can. And remember, guys, if you're on Facebook messaging me, if it's Sunday morning, I'm probably not going to see it because I only check it once or twice. I'm really busy doing other stuff, but Twitter, I'm usually it's way easier for me to check it. A lot harder for me to check my Facebook stuff. Don't ask me why, it's a long story. Anyway, have a wonderful weekend, guys. Stay safe, you know, have fun, but don't have too much fun. I'm kidding. Have as much